it's me, Mimi Combs, and today I decided I would show you guys my first Wattpad book since it's very embarrassing and I wrote it in middle school, so it's like been enough time where I feel like I'm removed enough from it. But yeah, so I'm going to be reacting to it and going over some plot elements and yeah. So I'm not going to show you guys the actual webpage because I don't want to give away like my actual Wattpad information on here, but I want to show you guys the cover of the book because it's and the reason is because I decided to make a Twilight fanfiction because I just recently watched the Twilight movies, even though I wasn't like that big of a fan or anything, but like I decided to remake it. I found this picture online somewhere, just like a remake of the cover, and then my title is so unoriginal. It's like I just took the Twilight title and then added this element of having sisters. So very unoriginal. Title's kinda cover's kinda but I mean I guess the cover is kinda interesting because it's like a younger like girl, and so you can tell it's gonna have like a more happy, upbeat and like positive vibe than like the dark and dull Twilight cover. So next I'll read the description for my story, which is pretty straight to the point and short. So it says, mini novel. Two girls, completely different. Skylar, fun-loving, cool, girly, friends with Renesmee Cullen. Heather, seemingly shy, tomboy, secretive, funny, werewolf? Question mark? Oh god. Yes, Skylar, that's your new sister, Heather. That one sentence that complicates everything. Ooh, exciting. Don't you want to read it? Me too. But wait, there's more. The first chapter is an author's note, which is a pretty common thing on Wattpad, but my author's note is quite cringy. So I think I'll just read this word for word, and maybe I'll show you guys when I use all caps, like on the side. I don't know if I can take a picture of it and put it on the side, and I'll read it. So it goes, "Hey beautiful people of the world," in all caps. I am attempting to write a mini novel fanfiction story. I have many more chapters coming and I will try to update every day. That's pretty often. I can't promise anything though. All I can promise is that the chapters are extremely short. I try to make each one 200 plus words. And I already have written the whole story. Please vote! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation. I'm not even saying it right anywhere. There's a lot. Please comment. I promise I will reply. And most importantly, please read. Throws Kinder chocolate at everyone, Mimi. Honestly, looking back on it, I was kind of like taking from the authors I was seeing on Wattpad and kind of like doing what they were doing. And the tone is really similar, but I'm just using a lot of all caps. It's quite a lot. So that said, let's get on with the book. I remember I didn't really have this planned out, I don't think. And it was like the first book I was writing, so I didn't really have an outline. I just kind of went with it. And like I said, the chapters are super short. Nowadays, when I write on Wattpad, I try to make chapters like 5 times the length of this one, but like, yeah. So let's go on. And by the way, the story is no longer published. It was just so bad that I had to take it down, but I still have it saved privately, so yeah. Yeah, okay. The first chapter is called Adoption, and I have a little picture to go along with the chapter that says 6 in 10 Americans are touched by adoption in some way, which that has nothing to do with it. It's just because it's adoption, so I think that's crazy. Okay. I'm just gonna quickly read this chapter so I can summarize it for you guys. Okay, so the main character that we're introduced to is Skylar Grey, and she gets home and her mom's just like, hey, by the way, I adopted this child, so she's your new sister. Yay, exciting. And I have to tell you guys there's 41 chapters, so I can't go through all of them, but what I can pretty much take from this is that Skylar learns that Renesmee is a vampire and that Heather's a werewolf, and it's alternates from Heather and Skylar's point of view and just kind of has them like getting to know each other as sisters and stuff, and like coming to terms with all this stuff. Let me check back. I'll look through it and I'll tell you guys more. I don't really remember. Oh, Heather just moved there, so she's joining the pack with like all of the people. So she's like, oh, I just moved here. Why is there a title of this chapter that just says commit suicide? That's one of the chapter titles, so I think I need to look into it. It's probably like they joke about it. That's probably what happens. Oh, yeah, they joke about it. They just say truth or dare, and then they say dare, and then they say jump out the window, and they're like, you want me to commit suicide? It's like really a joke. Like, what was I thinking in elementary school? Middle school. I'm sorry. This is bad. This is bad. I don't know what I was thinking of doing with this, but basically a lot of this story, for a lot of the stories, Skylar knows about vampires and werewolves, but she doesn't know that Heather is a werewolf. So like it's kind of like tension, and it's kind of just like confusing, and like they don't know each other, so it's like you know more because you're the reader. Anyway. And then she realizes, she's just like, oh wait, like look it, she growled at me, she jumped out of a window, she's a werewolf. Like that's how she comes to the realization. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, so I remember what I did. So if you guys remember Jane, she's like a character in the Volturi in Twilight. I don't really remember, but okay, in the story she's basically friends with Skylar, and to save her life she turns her into a vampire, I think. And so then Skylar's a vampire and Heather's a werewolf, and they're sisters. Yeah. So it's interesting, I guess. I don't quite know what the point of any of this is. So like I said earlier, basically Skylar's dying and then Jane saves her life by turning into a vampire. I don't really know what else happens in this story, but there's 40 chapters. And most of them are titled random stuff like buy more popcorn and family and what if he just hurt that or that. Oh wait, I like that one. That one's kind of funny. Now when I think about it, because I think it's about like when like Edward's in the room and since he can read people's minds, and then she's like, oh, what if he heard that or that? I thought this was peak comedy. I really did think this was peak comedy in middle school, but it's fine. It's fine. I did better later on. So now after all that rambling, I think it's good to see where this book ends. So like I told you, Skylar's now a vampire, Heather's a werewolf. I think Heather's dating Seth, and Skylar's still like friends with Renesmee, you know, whatever. And in the epilogue, you read about everyone's point of view. I think I wrote some stuff from Renesmee's point of view. So you get 3 points of view in the epilogue, which is weird since it's like only 200 words. So basically the epilogue, it just kind of like breaks down how everyone's feeling at the moment now that I've read it. So Skylar's just like, oh, you know, I finished newborn training, I'm a vampire now. Heather's like, oh, everything's great now that I'm adopted and I have a boyfriend and a pack and a sister. And then Renesmee's like, I don't have to lie to my best friend anymore. So that's basically everything that happened in the book. I think a lot of the stuff in here was just like filler for characters' sake. So nothing really happens. And that's all. I'm excited to see the sequel though. I don't remember writing the sequel. So should I get into it? I should. Okay. So the second book is called Broken at Twilight. The cover is even worse because I just like used a photo. I didn't even add the title, if you guys can see this cover. And it is not complete, but you know, we'll see. The description is the same as the first book. It's just because I didn't want to spoil anything. And so we also have an author's note to start it out, so I'd like to read that. And then I'll just kind of briefly go over where the book was gonna go. Author's note. Hello, y'all. Hello, y'all. Hope you all loved the first book. If you haven't already, please go ahead and read it before peering into the pages of this one. It's so much more fun that way. I wrote it all in about a week, but edited and added a lot before uploading one every day. In this book, if you have any ideas, please comment. I will start writing after the first book is all published, just to let you know it's all written. I won't spoil the last book, so I haven't updated the description yet. Stay tuned, my goal in this book is 400 words per chapter, twice as long as the last book. See you in the pages. I will try to do more author's notes. Throws popcorn at you. Enjoy this book, Broken at Twilight. P.S. This book is completely appropriate. They kiss. That's about it. So just like the other book, I'll read a little bit and then I'll summarize for you guys. Okay, I read 2 chapters. So far, Heather's pregnant. She's engaged to Seth. That's a lot. Skylar's complaining about being single. Oh, they also graduated high school, so they're old enough. Like, Heather's not like... I mean, she's still teen pregnant. Like, kind of yikes, honestly, but I don't know why I wrote that. So Heather goes to visit, like, her old pack, and it's like a family reunion. That's another thing that happens in these couple chapters. It's okay, I guess. It's bad though. It's really cringy. I'm just here cringing. It actually makes me feel sick. It's so cringy. I should definitely read some of this. I'm just gonna choose like a chapter. What's a good chapter? I have 21 chapters. Let's go to Pop-Tarts. Let me read Pop-Tarts for you guys. So, Pop-Tarts. Author's note, Seth's Seth's point of view. I know I usually do Nessie, Skylar, and Heather, but today's a different day. P.S. I looked up Seth and Leah's stories on Wikia, so they must be true. Oh, because I didn't actually read the books before I did this, so I just looked up everything on Wikipedia. I looked next to me as Heather stared and thought. She usually does this when she's contemplating a decision. What is it? I whispered to her. Her blue eyes stare into mine and her irises melt my heart. I feel it exactly as the time I had imprinted on her, the same feeling of lust and love. I had grown used to that feeling. I need to ask you something, Heather says lightly. I can tell what she needs to ask is important by how she sits politely on the bed and fumbles with her fingers. Yes, I ask again before she stares into my eyes again and chokes out, what happened in the past that made Leah so protective? She asked and broke our stare, fiddling with her fingers again. I'm gonna skip a paragraph because it's all basically information from Twilight that I'm just like going through. She's been through a lot. Heartbreak. She doesn't want the same to happen to me. I explain, and it's true. I just can't explain it to her. Heartbreak. It was much more than that. Is that it? She asks, and I shake my head. You have to ask Leah. It's not my story to tell. And then we walk out of the bedroom and into the kitchen. Heather seems to accept that there's more than happened. She seems to respect that I can't tell her anything else. I respect her for that. There's a lot of respect in that paragraph. What's for breakfast, she asks, sitting on a stool in the kitchen. Pop-Tarts, I suggest. I can't cook at all. What flavor, she asks, and I pull out ice cream, shop, and peanut butter. She looks them over. Peanut butter, she decides, and I plop them in the toaster. They pop out of the toaster and we crunch into them, burning our mouths. We both nod at the same time and grab some milk. And you said you couldn't cook, she exclaims, and I laugh. It takes skill to make Pop-Tarts. So for that chapter, the first part was more like cringy because I had like actual like Twilight information in it. Second part was just like, why did I think this was peak comedy? Why did I think them talking about Pop-Tarts, burning their mouths, and how they couldn't cook? I guess that was kind of what Wattpad was. Oh, okay, so Leah dies, even though she hasn't been a big character at all. And I think that's the end, but like, I never ended it. And there's some big battle with the Volturi, like just like the first book, that doesn't make much sense. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys don't think less of me because that book was really something. Both of them, actually. The first one I feel like was okay, you know. It had like two sisters, you know, like having to get along when they're kind of in this weird situation. And I think that's what most of the book is, but then there's also like the references to like Twilight in it that now I kind of look back on and kind of cringe a little. And yeah, and even the fact that I was writing like Twilight fanfiction when I hadn't even read Twilight, it's like, why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself? Thanks for watching. I'm sorry if this video went off. I know it's like 30 minutes long on my camera, but a lot of that's just me reading. So I hope you guys, it's not too long for you. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm not gonna say anything else about my Wattpad because I don't want anyone I don't know finding it. So yes. And I also have a couple other stories that I just kind of wrote on Google Docs. If you guys want me to go over, let me know if you enjoyed this. If not, that's fine too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for the breath. Oh gosh. Oh, what happened to me? Why is everyone gonna die? Oh my gosh, this is so bad. I'm finding the urge to puke.